what I want you to do for a review today. Things that we need to know. Basically, for our review today, we're going to do the review pages at the end of each section. So there's 3 pages. There's 7.1, there's 7.2, there's 7.3. Okay? For 7.1, to find the sum of the interior of a polygon, that was the formula that we talked about last week. N minus 2 times 180. The number of sides is going to change, but the one thing you got to be really careful about here is what are we asking for? Are we asking for the total, or are we asking for like each individual figure? So for instance, if I said, okay, so all of these questions are using those 2 formulas in one way or another, asking different questions. You got to kind of pay attention to, are we finding an angle? Are we looking for the number of sides? Like number 2 gives me the total, but we want to know how many sides we have. So we got to work backwards and solve for n. Find the measure of each angle in a 15-gon. And I should have probably said regular 15-gon. That means all of them are the same. Okay, so when I say each angle, that means we're looking for one angle. We're not looking for the total. We're looking for one angle. And there's a couple different ways to do this. If I was going to do the interior, first of all, we could do n minus 2 times 180. We have 15 sides. And then we're going to divide it by the number of sides that we have, or angles. Be careful about, make sure you use parentheses and those kind of things that we talked about. Hey, if I just wanted the sum, I would just do this top part, right? And then here we're looking for each individual angle, so we got to divide by the 15. So how many degrees would be on the inside? Or what would be the total of each degree? Okay, 2,340 is our total. And if we take that number and divide it by 15, okay. So if I wanted the sum, this would be my answer. If I wanted just one angle, this would be my answer. And the fact that it said regular means they're all the same. If it didn't say regular, that means each one's a little bit different. But regular means they're all the same. Okay, when we look at the exterior, how many degrees are on the outside of any figure? 360. There is no formula for that, okay? And I'm not going to give you any formulas for tomorrow, okay? So you got to know the n minus 2 times 180 is interior. You got to know exterior is 360. So here we're going to do 360 divided by 15. And 360 divided by 15. 24. Okay. Now, remember that these two should always add up to be 180. So that's kind of how you could check yourself, right? The interior and the exterior angle should make a line. Because if I was to draw a picture out here, I'm not going to draw a 15-gon, but if I was to draw and extend the side, this would be 156, and the angle on the outside would be the 24. And those two together should make 180. Another one I wanted to talk about, because you're going to see one like this on your quiz tomorrow. I didn't show you this last week when we did it, but then on Big Ideas, it asked for multiple answers, and you could have written your answer a lot of different ways. For instance, on this one here, we talked about going down 3 and left 2. So from here, I could go down 3 and left 2. And I think when we did this one on our notes, we said 0, 1 was the point, right? And that would be a point that would work. I could connect all these together, and it would make a parallelogram. Okay? But there's other options as well. If I get rid of that point right there, then what I could also do is, for instance, this one here, I could go up 1, 2, 3, and over 2, and then I could go up to this point and go up 3 and over 2. And this would also make a parallelogram. Okay? So in some cases, there's more than one correct answer there. And I just want you to be aware of that. Sometimes it might go off the graph, and I will give you a graph for problems like that tomorrow, because I think it's easier to plot it. Trying to do it without a graph would be pretty difficult to do, or more difficult anyway. So I will give you a piece of graph paper, but just know there's more than one right answer on something like that. Okay, and then there's also one like this, where it's asking for the intersection of the diagonals. That's another one I'll give you a piece of graph paper for. You're going to plot the 4 points, you're going to draw the diagonals, and you're going to say where they intersect at. So that's like a midpoint question, where you have to find the midpoint of the two. Okay, and then the last 7-3 we did yesterday. This is one where we're trying to determine why is it a parallelogram, what do we know about it to make it a parallelogram, and do we have enough information? Okay, and so all of those questions kind of go back to what we did yesterday. That kind of ties into those 5 properties we just put on the formula sheet or on that foldable we made. Okay, so that's kind of what I want you to work on today.